Okay, so first I'm going to prove L'Hopital's rule, and then I'm going to show you an AP problem on L'Hopital's rule. They're very confusing the way they word them, okay, in my opinion. All right, so first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to prove L'Hopital's rule by using a special case, okay? So suppose that f of a equals g of a, which equals 0. And that both f prime of a and g prime of a exist. And do not equal 0. Okay? Then the limit as x approaches a of f of x over g of x equals the limit as x approaches a of f prime of x over g prime of x. Okay, so we're going to prove this, okay, by working backwards. So this is going to be a proof of a special case of L'Hopital's rule, where f of a and and g of a both equal 0, where you only need to use L'Hopital's rule once. Okay, so here's the proof. Working backwards. From f prime of a and g prime of a, which are themselves limits, okay, we have, by definition of the derivative, the limit as x approaches a of f prime of x, right, over g prime of x is f prime of a over g prime of a. Okay, the reason we're able to say this, okay, is because f prime of a and g prime of a do not equal 0. Now, think about the definition of a limit. So in the numerator, this is the limit as x approaches a. This is called the alternative form for the definition of a limit, of f of x minus f of a over x minus a. Okay, as you know, it just means it's the limit of the secant line. And then the denominator, we would have g of x minus g of a over x minus a. Okay, so now because these are continuous, we can take out the limit part as x approaches a. We have f of x minus f of a over x minus a over g of x minus g of a over x minus a. These cancel, right? So we have the limit as x approaches a of f of x minus f of a over g of x minus g of a. Now, I'm not expecting you guys to copy this down, okay? I'm just expecting you to see the proof so that you have an understanding of how to prove things in calculus. Depending on what studies you do will determine where you're going to go. Now, we already know that these were equal to 0, right? Whoops. So we just end up with the limit of f of x over g of x. And so we proved L'Hopital's rule in reverse. Okay, so you're going to use L'Hopital's rule when you're in 0 over 0 form. Okay, it's called indeterminate form. And you're also going to use it when you're in infinity over infinity form, which you can convert into 0 over 0 form. Okay, let's take a look at an AP problem that has L'Hopital's rule and squeeze theorem in it. Okay, you're going to need to pause the video and copy the problem down. I'll read it to you just to make sure you understand everything that I wrote here. Functions f, g, and h are twice differentiable functions with g of 2 equal to h of 2 equal to 4. The function h satisfies h of x equal to x squared minus 4 over 1 minus f of x cubed, for x does not equal 2. It is known that the limit of h of x as x approaches 2 can be evaluated using L'Hopital's rule. Use the limit of h of x as x approaches 2 to find f of 2 and f prime of 2. Okay, here we go. First, you have to use the stem of this problem. See the stem? Twice differentiable. So you have to state, okay, because they're very picky about the communication on the AP exam. Because h is differentiable, h is continuous, right? Differentiability implies continuity. Now, remember the definition of continuity. Therefore, the limit as x approaches 2 of h of x must equal h of 2. In the stem of the problem, they tell us that's 4. Okay? Now, the limit as x approaches 2 of h of x, right? I'm just going to replace h of x here. Is the limit as x approaches 2 of x squared minus 4 over 1 minus f of x cubed. Okay, well, we just said that the limit of h of x as x approaches 2 is 4, so therefore this is 4. Okay, but now, to use L'Hopital's rule, that means that we would be in 0 over 0 form originally, which means that both of these, okay, would have to be equal to 0. So, okay, now, the limit of x squared minus 4, right, is equal to 0. I just said that. And the limit of 1 minus f of x cubed as x approaches 2 must equal 0. Okay, so now I'm going to solve for this, right? So in order for this to equal 0, I would need to directly plug in 2, but let me just set this 1 minus f of x cubed equal to 0. 1 minus f of x cubed equal to 0 means that f of x would need to equal 1. Okay? Now, in the stem of the problem, they say that f is twice differentiable. So now you would have to say, okay, since f is differentiable, f is continuous, so f of 2, right, would have to equal the limit of f of x as x approaches 2, which we already know is 1. Okay? Now, keep in mind, f is twice differentiable. Okay, therefore, f prime is continuous. Okay? So, the limit as x approaches 2 of f prime of x has to equal f prime of 2. Okay? Now we're going to use L'Hopital's rule. Using L'Hopital's rule, the limit as x approaches 2 of x squared minus 4 over 1 minus f of x cubed. You know you get the derivatives, is the limit as x approaches 2 of 2x over, use the power rule here, bring down the 3, right? Subtract off 1, then use the chain rule. Okay, this has to equal 4, right? This whole thing has to equal 4. Now, when I plug in my 2, I have 2 times 2 over negative 3 times, all right, I need f of x squared, well, that's just 1, times f prime of 2 equals 4. And when you solve this, you get f prime of 2 equals negative 1/3. Okay? So what we've done here, right? All right, when you look at the problem, okay, they said originally use h of x, remember? Where was it? Okay, use h of x to find f of 2 and f prime of 2. So we got f prime of 2, right? We know that f of 2 itself, okay, that had to equal 1. So we found that. And then that's it, okay? And in the directions, okay, it said that you had to justify, I'm just going to tell you, all right? It said show the work that leads to your answers. So you have to show the work, and by showing the work, you need all this information about differentiability, implying continuity, using the definition of continuity, okay? Then using L'Hopital's rule along with continuity, okay? And then setting the denominator equal to 0, because you're using L'Hopital's rule. So it's not easy by any means. Okay, let's take a look at the squeeze theorem. Okay, so let me read you the question first to make sure that you're reading it properly, and you can pause and copy it down. It is known that g of x is less than or equal to h of x for 1 less than x less than 3. Let k be a function satisfying g of x less than or equal to k of x less than or equal to h of x for 1 less than x less than 3. Is k continuous at x equals 2? Justify. Okay, so the stem of the problem was still the same. So we're dealing with g and h at first, okay? So because g and h are differentiable, g and h are continuous. Okay, so the limit of g of x as x approaches 2 is g of 2, which is equal to 4. And the limit of h of x as x approaches 2 is h of 2, which is equal to 4. This was given in the stem of the problem, these 4s, and the twice differentiable, okay? All right, now, because g of x is less than or equal to k of x, which is less than or equal to h of x, okay, for 1 less than x less than 3, it follows from the squeeze theorem. Now, on the AP exam, you do not have to say the you don't have to say the word squeeze theorem. It follows that the limit of k of x as x approaches 2 must be 4, right? Because k of x is squeezed between g of x and h of x, which are both 4. Therefore, there's no place for it to run. It must be 4. Okay? And 4 is equal to g of 2, right? Which is less than or equal to k of 2, which would be less than or equal to h of 2, which is equal to 4. So, right, k of 2 must be 4 then. Okay, for this other part, remember these limits were both 4. So this limit has to be 4 because it's between g and x. And then you also have the actual values, right? So k of 2 is 4. So now check out continuity. Well, we have right here, check, check. They're equal to one another. Therefore, k is continuous at x equals 2, because the limit of k of x as x approaches 2 equals k of 2, which is 4. Okay, so these questions are very theoretical. They put this on, I think, to not only challenge you BC kids, but to challenge the really advanced AB kids as well. Remember, some schools don't offer BC Calc. Okay, thanks, guys.